Hey guys, I'm Becky and welcome to another episode of Read 'em or Reap. Read 'em or Reap is a series that I started at the beginning of this year, 2025, where I try to read as many of my unread physical books as possible. We started the year with 166. So far, we have actually read 20 books this year, which means we only have 146 books left to go. Now, that number is not 100% accurate because I do not update the number when I haul or unhaul during the year. So at the very end of this, we will do all the calculations and see exactly how many books I do actually have on these shelves. But that's kind of what we're working with. So today it is Thursday, August 28th, and I meant to start this vlog on Monday, but clearly it did not happen. So here we are on Thursday. I have already started our first book. I started it last night, and so far I'm really liking it. So I did go ahead and pick out what books we are going to be reading. I already had these two in mind. I was like, these are the books I'm going to be reading for sure. And then I figured I would mood read a third one or however many we can get to. But now that we have severely limited ourselves in the amount of time that we have to finish this vlog, because I'm hoping to get it done by Monday because that is September 1st and when the Magical Readathon starts. That means we don't have a ton of time, which means I can pretty much hope and promise to read the two books that I was already planning to do. So the first one and the one that I have already started is Sisters in the Wind by Angeline Boulley. This is a advanced reader copy that I did win on Goodreads. I know I have never won such an exciting and popular book. I'm just thrilled. So I do have an advanced physical copy that I won in the Goodreads giveaway. I also have an advanced listener copy from Libro FM and an advanced e-copy from NetGalley. I know, my bases were covered when it came to this book. That is how excited for it I am. So this book technically does not come out until... Wow, they really don't tell you anymore quickly, do they? Oh, September 2nd. Perfect. So I'm actually reading this in advance. I haven't done that in so long. So this is Angeline's third book. It is loosely in a series. They won't call it a series, but there are characters that come up in this book that are from her previous books, but they're not interconnected. You don't have to read any of the other ones to read this one or vice versa. So they're all standalones, but they're in the same universe, and normal people would put that in a series, but apparently not this publisher. Whatever, I'm here for this. So this book is about a girl named Lucy who is homeless, and this guy approaches her and is like, hey, you are actually Native American. I know your family. They would love to meet you and take care of you. You should come back. And she has this troubled past that is also following her, and that's kind of the gist of the book. Now, I don't know how far I got last night because I did start the audiobook last night, and I highly suggest the audio for any of Angeline Boulley's books because you get the proper pronunciation on things and they're just always very well done, and I absolutely love them. Let's find out how far into it I am. So I'm 20% of the way through it right now, and it's very, very interesting. We're going back and forth between the past and the present because we have to kind of learn where Lucy came from in order to get to where she is, and it's just completely wild. The other thing that's also very wild is the trigger warnings that are in this book. Let me see if they are here in the physical copy. Okay, they're actually not. Oh wait, maybe they are. Let me double check again after I see where they are in this one. Okay, yes, they are in the physical edition. I was like, that's weird. That's only in the ebook. Okay, so if you don't want to know the trigger warnings, go ahead and skip ahead, because to me, sometimes trigger warnings can be spoilery, so feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to know the trigger warnings. It says this book contains depictions of child sex trafficking, child abuse, teen pregnancy, explosions and bombing, ableism, anti-indigenous racism and colorism, hospitalization, gun violence, and death, with mentions of police brutality, genocide, and colonialism. And when I read that, I was like, whoa. Her books are very serious, and they're so good, and they're so educational, and I just eat them up. I love her freaking books so much. But I really wasn't expecting all that going into this. And some of the content warnings I have already encountered, but a good chunk of them, especially the first two, I have not encountered just yet. So I don't know what that's about. I really don't know what that's about. And I'm like, where's this book going? What is happening? And other than the little bit I do know about her past, like what else is like possibly going to ruin her having a happy future, you know? It's very interesting. I'm very excited, but so far, no surprise here. I am just loving this book. It is so freaking good, and I cannot wait to go and listen to some more of it, like, in just a couple minutes after I eat dinner. The other book that I'm also really freaking excited to get to, and I also have it on audio, is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is book 2 to Divine Rivals, and my best friend Ro has actually recently finished it and was like, yeah, I was just like sobbing and falling apart over this book. So I'm very excited because I'm hoping that this book makes me cry. I am looking for a romance, and it could be any sort of genre of romance, or subgenre rather, but I want one that just really hits me in my feelings so hard that I cry. Like, if you watch Larry Reads, that girl is like sobbing and dying at damn near everything. And I just want to feel that like once in my life. Like, there's definitely books that have made me cry where I'm like, oh, like that's so sweet or that's so sad. And it's like, you know, there are some tears, but like I want to just have like an ugly cry over a book, you know? Like, I just want to have a Larry Reads moment. And not all the time, you know? That's just not who I am. But I just want something to just break me. I know that's wild, but like I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't know if a book's ever done that. Is that normal? I don't know. So yes, these are the 2 books that I am hoping and I think can totally happen in the next 4 days. Because I do have them both on audio. I'm already 20% of the way through this, so I feel like if I can get through 50% by the end of the night, which doesn't seem that hard, and then finish it tomorrow, and then do the same with this, like, we should be golden. I think we'll be totally fine. Hello friends, I don't know how clear it is to you, but I am sick. I am so sick. It is, what day is it? It's Sunday. I am still not done with Sisters in the Wind, but I am 80% of the way through it. I am going to sit here and finish it right now, but oh boy. I'm hoping I can finish it and then start Ruthless Vows and finish that tomorrow, so we'll just add an extra day onto here. We'll just have like the whole, you know, holiday weekend, if you will, for Rita Mareep. But boy, oh boy, do I feel like utter shit. It is definitely like a cold or something, probably from the weather change here in Michigan. It happens to me every year. And man, like yesterday I slept for 12 hours and I could have slept more, but I was like, oh my God, it's 6 p.m. It is 6 p.m. I'm 80% of the way through Sisters in the Wind. I am very much liking it, which is no surprise at all. I completely expected this book to be a 5-star. I'm very much expecting both of these books to be 5 stars for me. Why were we zoomed in? Weird. Okay. Don't know why we were zoomed in. Here we are. I'm very much expecting both of these books to be 5 stars for me. But Sisters in the Wind is just really, it's really hitting me. I feel like, I don't know, it's hard to say. I almost want to say this might be my favorite book of hers, because I'm just really liking, I really like the way that it's done. I love that we're like going back and forth between past and present and like different past. Like the present, obviously, like we're slowly moving forward in the timeline, but the past, like we're getting some from the beginning, then we're at one of the foster homes, then, you know, we're somewhere else, then we're back at that other foster. Like, I'm just really liking the setup. I'm liking the back and forth a lot, which sometimes people don't like that. I feel like every once in a while I don't like it, but for the most part I usually like multi-POV is always like my thing, whether it's like people or timelines or whatever. Like, I just feel like it adds an extra layer to a story and I'm really, really liking it. But I will say, like, I'm 80% of the way through and I still have not uncovered what exactly has happened in her past to make somebody be stalking her. Like, there's all kinds of horrible things that have happened in her past that make sense for why she's traumatized, but I still don't understand like who is after her and why, and it's just completely insane. But I'm absolutely eating it up. I'm loving it so much. And the fact that, like, again, I explained this when I was first starting it, that it's not technically in a series. Like, you can read them all as standalones, but you will like get pieces of the previous ones in them, which is why I don't understand why it's not technically in a series, because like I feel like in book 2 there wasn't like a ton of like spoilery things. Like, they did feel very much like standalones, but like, you know, you had Donis in the background who is the main character in book 1. But in this one, like, you are very much spoiled for book 1. Like, you are very much spoiled for book 1. So, and then I feel like we're finding out stuff that we didn't even know in book 1. So it's like, how are these not a series? But whatever, not my department. So yes, I just wanted to check in because we are over the 50% mark. It is Sunday and I'm sick. So, if you couldn't tell, I just got out of the shower. This is not like grease. This is wet hair. So we're also going to see how this turns out because I'm not positive if I have done this since dyeing my hair two-toned. I feel like it's been a very long time since I've done natural dried hair. So we'll see how it turns out. I did put some mousse in it and I did like brush it and scrunch it a certain way. So we'll see. I feel like crap. I'm going to eat dinner and I'm going to finish this book and hopefully start the next one. Hello. It is Tuesday. I know. And are we done with this vlog? Absolutely not. Are we done with this vlog? First things first, I am on the mend, thank God. Let me see if I can like adjust. So I am on the mend. I'm feeling so much better today. I also, so sorry, I don't know what the sound quality is going to be. I have my window open and you're right in front of it. And the June bugs are just crazy right now. Good God. Anyways, I'm feeling much better today. I feel like I am getting better instead of like reaching the peak of sickness. I feel like the worst of it was probably Saturday or Sunday. I think Saturday. But I think I'm finally like starting to feel better. I did on Saturday go and get my nails done. They are so freaking cute. I absolutely love them. But this morning I woke up and this middle finger was broken. I don't know how. I have no idea how. So unfortunately, the place that I go to was closed today for some reason, but the owner's husband also owns a nail shop just like a town away. So I went over to his shop and luckily he was willing to fix it for free like my shop would have done. The only problem is they did not have the same color and obviously it wasn't the same person who did the design. So it is definitely like a knockoff version. Like, let me show you a comparison. So this one right here is the one that broke. The skull honestly isn't bad. The vines, they could be better. And then the orange is different. He also, I don't know if you can tell, he didn't do like the pinky nude color like this one has. So you can see my raw nail and everything. It was free. It's whatever. I'm just like, oh, cool. Like, I just wish it was on this hand because so many people look at my right hand, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Let's talk books because I have been reading. It's just been very slow going because when I'm sick, reading is not what I gravitate towards. It's actually watching TV, but I have actually been reading surprisingly. So I did in fact finish Sisters in the Wind. I just finished it last night. This book was so freaking good, you guys. 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved this. I highly recommend this book, but please make sure that you have at least read Firekeeper's Daughter before reading this one. I feel like her second book, which was Warrior Girl Unearthed, if I'm not mistaken, that one is also fantastic, but there were not spoilers for that one like there was for Firekeeper's Daughter in here. So make sure you read Firekeeper's Daughter and then read this one, unless you don't care to be spoiled, because it really like, it spoils everything for Firekeeper's Daughter. I do not know how this is not a series, but again, above my pay grade, I guess. So this was absolutely fantastic. I loved every second of it. The whole time I'm just like, what is going on? What exactly happened? What's going on? And you really don't find out what exactly happened until the very end of this book. And it's just wild. It's just crazy. It's heartbreaking. I'm surprised that I didn't cry, but I feel like if you would have read Firekeeper's Daughter and then immediately read this, you'll probably cry. So just know that going in. But this was so freaking good. I loved what we learn about Indigenous culture. I love that we learned about, what is it called? The Indian Child Welfare Act. It talks a lot about the Indian Welfare Child Act. Indian Child Welfare Act. It talks a lot about that. And that was extremely interesting. I did not know about it. I did not realize that it was in danger. I don't know if it still is. So I am going to be looking into like what I can do to help. But just so very interesting. And it really, I mean, I feel like all of the books really call and shed a spotlight on like the, I forgot they were called, but basically like indigenous children were taken away from their parents because their parents were savages, so the child was like in danger and not living a good life, even though like you literally made these people poor and impoverished, and so the children were living in poverty, and then you tried to say that it was the parents' fault that the children are poor. Make it make sense. So children were taken away and they were sent to schools where like they were literally like the indigenousness was beaten out of them. Like, it's horrific. Many children have died. Many children have never come back. So like these tribes are dying. The language is dying because an entire generation was like taken away from them. The only way that they're surviving today is because some people have come back. Like, it's just completely insane and just so wild. And I don't understand. I mean, I understand, but also like I don't understand how stuff like this and like the intricacies of slavery, the intricacies of the Holocaust, the intricacies of Japanese internment camps, like why is this stuff not being fully taught in schools? Because I had no idea about a good majority of this, and it's because we don't want people to know. We don't, you know, we're the victors. We're such an amazing country. Like, we're so shit. I already knew it, and it's just like, that's why they don't want us to be educated, because then the more that we know and the more that we could change, it just, pisses me off. But all three of the books really kind of talk about, all three of her books really talk about like the atrocities of things done to the tribes throughout history, and just they're extremely impactful and extremely educational, and I just absolutely love that. But this one like really dived into like the foster care system and the theft of children and stuff like that. So absolutely excellent. Highly recommend. 5 out of 5 stars. Amazing. So this will, even though it is an arc, it is definitely going onto my read shelves. Absolutely loved it. I then, for sake of trying to finish this episode, immediately started Ruthless Vows. And I only listened to like maybe a chapter or two last night, and then I think I'm now up to chapter, I want to say at least chapter 6. Pepe has brought me a mouse. Bugga, I'm trying to film. He very clearly wants attention. Alright, I will try to talk around him, I guess. So, Ruthless Vows. I have started it. It is so good so far, even though I'm like hardly into it. But it picks up like, I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks after book 1 ends. So you're right back where we were. And I just got, I think, the second chapter from Roman's point of view. And like already I'm like, oh my god. I'm just like, I already am like having feels like I just know this book is going to be excellent. I feel like I'm definitely giving it 5 out of 5 stars already. Like, I just have such hopeful vibes for this book, but, and honestly I had that for both books, but I feel like it's completely warranted. Like, it's not like I was like, oh, here's these 2 random books and I'm hoping that they're 5 stars. Like, these are like guaranteed 5 stars, and that's really what I needed right now. I'm just very interested to see like where this book is going to go, and I just want everything to be okay already, and I just started the book. Like, book 1 was so good, but also like so scary, and just really makes you distraught with the ending. Like, the ending kills you, and so I'm just like, I just want everything to be okay, and I'm, 5% of the way in. I am going to try to read as much as possible of this today, but I feel like we might need another 24 hours, and I'm just like, I need to start the magical readathon. I don't know how this is all going to work out, but here we are trying to finish this episode of Read 'em or Reap. I hate when I get sick. It always happens when I have time off. Just so typical. I do need to do some work. Since it's Tuesday, I am working from home, and I have a lot of stuff that I want to try to get done, and I was really hoping to work from like noon to 5 basically, or at least attempt to try to get everything done in like 5 hours, but then this whole freaking nail fiasco, it's now 4 o'clock, and here we are. So I'm gonna try and get as much work done as possible today and then jump into reading that. So I will update you guys once I get halfway through the book. Alright guys, it did take an entire extra week, but I have finally finished this episode of Read 'em or Reap, which means that Ruthless Vows is also done. Now, I totally meant to update you guys when I was 50% of the way through it, but the last time that I updated you, I told you that I was starting to be on the mend, and I was. And then, I don't know what happened, but my sinuses just closed up. I mean, you can still hear how nasally I am, but I couldn't smell for 2 days. I took a COVID test, everything. All of it came back negative. That was just a head cold, but holy crap. So I did not update you guys at the 50% mark, but I also felt like my feelings hadn't really changed. And I was honestly for a little bit thinking that this book may be a 4-star, but the ending sold me. So I am giving this book 5 out of 5 stars. On Storygraph, I think I'm going to give it a 4.75. My only issue, it's the same issue that I have with a lot of books. And it's that in book 1, everything seemed very believable. Everything seemed very realistic. I mean, I know that we're in like this magical war with these gods and stuff like that, but other than that, like, totally plausible that like there are journalists on the front lines getting the story. Like, that really happens in real life. And all the things we didn't know, they also didn't know. So it's like we can't know what the characters don't know either. So I was down for it. The emotions in it were fantastic. It was a 5 out of 5 stars. This one, however, I was really, really liking it until we get to the part, which is, I feel like in YA is always my problem with the book. And like, I can usually just like, you know, suspend my belief, but every time I'm just like, but why? But why? And the problem is that, why on earth are they the ones responsible for saving the world? Like, why on earth is she the chosen one, you know? Like, sometimes they kind of make a good argument, like, you know, that's just a prophecy, or that's their birthright, or whatever. But in this one, there's no reason that these two were the ones that had to save the world. There's no reason. That is why I was feeling like, okay, I really like this. I am very happy with where it's going, but why is it on their shoulders? Who are they? They're just two randoms, which is what I don't get. Other than the fact that they have these typewriters and can communicate with each other. But that doesn't mean that they have to be the ones to do it. And so it was feeling like a 5-star, well, it was feeling like a 4-star just because it was like a little bit not as exciting as book 1. And then it started to feel, you know, like, okay, no, this is going to get a 5-star. And then that stuff started to happen. I was like, maybe back to a 4. But the ending really killed me. I cried. I surely did. I did cry. It was so good. So, finally done. This episode is finally over, and now I can finally start my next reading vlog, which is the Magical Readathon. I am so excited to get into it. I am very worried that I'm not going to have enough time to finish all the books because a week is now gone. But that's what extensions are for. Yeah. Needless to say, I will be keeping both of these books on my shelves. They will be on my red shelves now. And I know for sure one. I don't remember if there's more than one, but one of the books for the next episode has already been picked. I'm not positive if I have the other one picked. I don't think so. I think just the one. And maybe that's all we'll read in that episode, honestly. We'll see. But alright guys, we came in hoping for 2. We finally, in fact, did read 2. It was a struggle to get here, but we did it. So don't forget to keep reading, stay safe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!